Hi, this is Rosemary, and this is my Dr. Seuss swap journal. And did I ever tell you how lucky you are is a less well-known Dr. Seuss book. This is the title page because I wanted it, I liked it a little bit better than the actual book. And it is 4 signatures, and I put some jewels there. And at the very back, here it is. This Dr. Seuss in the back has a story to tell. And I will tell it as I go along. The fastener is elastic with a button, and here we go. When I began this book, I wanted to do Dr. Seuss, but I really didn't have very many printables. So I went to Pinterest, like we all do, and printed a few. I always limit my Pinterest because I have to go and pay a printer, a copy, and I do, even though the copy price is very reasonable, it can add up. So, and I didn't really have Dr. Seuss paper. So this became an exercise of playing with borders. And here's an example of playing with the borders. So I did have this red striped, and I had this polka dotted kind of paper. And being a junk journal, I always pick up random papers. And this is, you can buy this kind of stationery paper. I found this at a thrift store. And this was also, I bought at a thrift store, and this is wrapping paper. So I wanted to show you how I started playing with the borders. And pretty soon I started getting this effect that I really liked. And as I played with them, you're going to start seeing the book started having that Dr. Seuss flavor with it. And I decided I was going to be using primary colors, and I decided I was going to do stamping. I always put in random papers just because I think it's a junk journal, so this was like a note-taking. But then I started using dilutions, stamps, and I started getting a real pleasant surprise because they did have that Dr. Seuss flavor. And this is what happened. So here's an example of playing with borders. So this was the strips of paper, and you can see almost like a little optical illusion there. And this is basically 3 sheets of paper. And I started really enjoying that effect, and that effect you will see throughout this journal. So here we go for a quick walkthrough of Dr. Seuss and playing with borders. So again, I'm not going to try to talk too much because this is a pretty long, big journal. Here is some more junk journals, and I started using the embellished paper clips as little tags. Talked about this, and here is another example of the borders. Everyone's seen this pocket. This is a star I cut out there. Some of the quotes. I love Dr. Seuss quotes. This is why I really wanted to do it. Here's a stamp, and you will see my stamping and borders as we continue our little walkthrough through here. So this is kind of a blank page. I wasn't very happy. This is one that I played with. Both somebody, I don't know who exactly. There's a pocket right here and a diagonal pocket, and this is one of the few that I actually made a copy from the book. I found I could not cut apart the books unless they are falling apart. Then as I was almost done, I went to the thrift store and I found some Valentine cards, Dr. Seuss Valentine cards, kind of vintagey, and lo and behold, they became part of this journal. So as we go through a printable, the Valentine card with some tags, and like I said, this is a pretty uplifting journal. Here's a tiny little belly band down here, and in a pocket. And I also downloaded some printables, and I love fussy cutting, so I started decorating the pages there, and you can see, I think it looks almost as good as scrap paper. One of the things that I always think of, I wanted to do Dr. Seuss because he is used to celebrate love of reading. So Paula Lemon, I think, does these envelopes. And these are reading logs, which I thought, oops, this one, I must have, oh, we'll deal with that later. And there is a little tiny pocket right here, and this little tag will go there. And so tons of pockets, a lot of journaling. Here's again that stamping effect I was telling you about. And you can tell this was a day book. And again, these flip pockets, an embellished paper clip right here with one of those postcards I bought. Another printables. And there you see, this isn't part of the Valentine cards with these. This is a stamp I had, and it just was so nice to go. It goes so well with this book. So as we go through this, I'm making it just kind of a quick, fun look through this. Here is a Valentine's card, and I cut out the Valentine's sentiment so it allows for you to put a little message. I love to do that. Here's a tuck. And there's 2 tags. Somebody, I can't remember, I'll probably have to put her in the description, started making these flips that went like this, which I thought, oh, these are kind of fun. I will give her credit. I think Hermelinda, I can't remember her last name, Hermelinda, on this. So again, as we go through this, kind of hard to do this one-handed. An embellished paper clip with this printable with a lot of space to journal there. So I thought this would be a wonderful book as a travel or a reading log. Here's a belly band. And this is one of my favorite books, Are You My Mother? So I included that. And again, here's another. It's kind of a halfway pocket. More pocket tuck, that I like those. And here's another one of those that kind of has a little journaling. Oh, hard to do this one-handed. And you can journal, and you could probably use it a little bit like a tuck spot. Here's the stars at tuck. Stamping I talked to you about. Covered the date with a little fussy cut Horton. And I talked to you about already this stamping that you're seeing here. And you can see it really adds a lot of Dr. Seuss flavor. You can see I missed, stamping doesn't have to be perfect. I think it adds a little character to the book. Here I use this right here. You're seeing journal, the borders. I'm always playing with these borders. Wonderful way of using scrap paper. Here's a pocket right here on the side, and I use the embellished paper clips. As I mentioned before, this is an envelope, so you can put goodies in there. Another Horton tuck, and again the pockets. I think you can kind of see, it's just kind of fun there. This is also a pocket, didn't put anything in there. And see how the borders just lend themselves to fussy cutting. And here, this is one of the green eggs and hams. I just did some fussy cutting, and this is kind of a tag about when he finally likes green eggs and ham. A double pocket right here with 2 tags. And, you know, I was looking for books, and this is the only book that I found that I could cut apart. And the reason was the spine was broken. So this is Mr. Brown. So this is the only signature that has actual pages, and it was because the book was falling apart. So I added a portion of the pages in there to tell the kind of the story. And I liked all the little, sound effects there. And so in it went. And there I had talked about this. Let's see what happened. Oh, this is where a paper clip was going there. I just clipped some tags. This is one of those bottom pockets and a little banner. And again, some of you who follow me remember how I talk about just a tiny little strip of paper can really change it. This envelope is really a list of all the Dr. Seuss books. I think there's another one somewhere around there. I have another envelope, and as you can see, this is kind of a strange flip through. I'm going through them out of practice. But beans, I think it's, oh gosh, about 70 pages. I do want to make it quick, but it is just a fun Dr. Seuss book with tucks right there and a pocket. And we get to the very end. Here we go. And it has a tuck like Whoville. And here is another little envelope. It was a Target gift card, but it was so nice and red. It fit perfectly. And this was it was an old library book, I guess must have been discarded. And I made a copy and put it in there for Did I Ever Tell You How Lucky You Are? And it dates back to 1997. So again, as we go through this book, I hope you enjoy my walkthrough. It's been kind of rushed, but I did want you not to be sitting here forever as I talk about my tucks and my tags and my borders. But I do want to encourage people to think about their borders. Think about everything doesn't have to be a printable. After all, these are junk journals. Pull out your stamps. Try stamping around the edges so that you can form borders. Like I said, it's hard for me to use a book, but sometimes it works through. Go to your thrift stores and just get creative. It's a lot of fun once you start getting through this. As a matter of fact, I'm a little bit late on getting this book out because the more I worked on it, the more detail I wanted to add. And it was, this is why I like swaps, because I can work on a journal forever just adding detail and detail to it. More tags and more tags, a little string here, a little string there. But again, as I work with my journals, I like a lot of detail, but I also like a lot of journaling space. And I don't know, I keep trying the layering effect. I haven't been very successful on that. So again, I just want to tell you, thank you for watching. I think I went through this rather quickly. This is the cover of the Dr. Seuss Valentine's box. I cut it out. And I think it's I guess I could have used it in the cover, but I had already started the cover when I found this box of Valentine's. So again, surprises. You never know where you can find things, and I have to put some more elastic because I don't know about you, but every journal I have to buy elastic because I don't know where I put my elastic in such a safe place that I never can find it. So again, thank you for watching. And we'll see you again.